Hi everyone, welcome to East African Adventures. Today we're going to be talking about a bug out box, or basically what do you need to carry in a vehicle when you're doing a long trip, going to Africa, going through Africa, and obviously staying within Africa with a vehicle. So we're just going to have a look at a few things that you should carry. A few people are going to argue with me about this, but I think all you need is like 3 boxes. These are 50 caliber machine gun boxes, and 1 tyre repair kit, a couple of army pouches for carrying some water, and a tow rope. So let's start off with having a tow rope. This is a very important tool to have because when you get stuck, breakdowns, you can have it tied up to a vehicle, pull you out, or also pull you a long distance. I have towed a vehicle for about 200 kilometers using this particular tow rope. This is just a normal sling tow rope, nothing special about it. Okay, here we have a ARB 4x4 accessories kit. Now this is a proper puncture repair kit. It has everything from the lubricants to the parts for the rubber for the tyre repair, everything. It has everything. It has extra bits and pieces in here. This is a very good kit. A little bit expensive, but definitely worth having with you on the vehicle. Now I don't know whether to start with either tools, food, or parts. Now, let's have a look at parts first, I guess. So I think it's always important to have a good selection of parts. You know, things like Jubilee clips, pipe clips in general. You know, you get used to your vehicle, so you know what can break. So like on a Land Rover, these clips, they sometimes become a bit, especially if you take the pipe off or you have to do a change on something, and then the Jubilees always break. Having belts, spare belts, good for that to have some spare belts. On my car, sometimes I get the shaft breaks, this part of the shaft, so I just have a spare one of those straight ready to go in. I have some nuts, bolts, washers, other things like that. I have a belt, one of each belt. That's the fan belt, the alternator belt, and also the air conditioning belt. I have all of those there. Right, tools. These, people vary with these, but I definitely think you should have one of these in your vehicle. A nice kit, because you can easily repair small things on the vehicle. So that's important to have. One of these, preferably a big one, because having a bigger one, this one, you can pretty much, there are things that on the vehicle that can't be done having just a spanner kit, you know, so that's also something good. You've got a few screwdrivers, and then every size from size 8 or 5mm all the way up to at least a 32, I think, millimeter sockets plus extension rods. That all fits inside this box quite nicely. And I've got a pair of pliers in there as well. Definitely worth having that. Right, next box. Food. Okay, you've got a small, this kit here is quite a small kit. I've got myself a water filter in here. That's a little hand water filter. Got a compass in there. I've got starting for fire. I've got cooking things. I've got food in here. Just like the 2 army ration boxes that you can buy, 2 army ration boxes, and that will fit comfortably inside here with a small cooker and fire starting kit. Then in the pouches that we have up here, I have 500ml water, another 500ml water. This is additional water that I just carry, because I always carry water in my vehicle, and whenever I go anywhere I always just carry water with me. It's just normal, but this is just now extra water to have in the vehicle. Yes, so that's basically it. I also have a spanner kit which starts from a size 6 and goes up to a 32. millimeters. This is what I have here, this kit here. It's a nice roll-up kit, fits under the front seat. I'm using it at the moment, as you can see, and that's the kit that I use. You know, having this, it's just a cheap kit. It's not something like, you know, RAC spec or AA spec or something like that. It's just a nice cheap kit that you can use. I've been using the spanners just on this car only. This is like the kit for this car only. So, you know, it's just about having the tools for the car. So basically with the kit that I have, this set of spanners and also this box here, I can basically take the engine out and change the clutch in the bush as long as I've got a block and tackle or something to help me lift the engine a little bit forward. I can probably quite easily change a clutch in this vehicle. The food should last you, okay, these are 24-hour packs, so putting 2 of those in here, that's 48 hours. So you've got 48 hours worth of food in the vehicle all the time. Sealed within these boxes, the brilliant boxes, because they are watertight, they're dust tight and everything else tight. So that's what's the best thing. And then I just have them all tied up in the corner here, all stacked on top of each other with a couple of bungees and a couple of tie downs like that. And that's basically it. That's all you really need in your vehicle. You know, have your jack, that's your normal things, and your jump leads. But basically when you're travelling in Africa, it's good to be prepared, but don't overdo it. Because some people will argue and say, oh no, you need to make sure you've basically got a spare engine in the back of your vehicle. You don't know if you're, you know, going to break down or something. It's not necessary. You know, some people also think, you know, that you need to have, you know, 20 litres of water max, you know, minimum, you know, at least this much water and all of this and all that kind of stuff. And the back of the car is basically touching the ground because you're so loaded up with stuff but you never use it. You know, this is just a basic kit, just to have 3 boxes and keep it to the 3 boxes, have a spare rope and have some water in the vehicle. And that's about all you really need, because, you know, most likely you will see someone within 24 hours. Or you'll be able to repair the vehicle or be able to move on, because it's normally a breakdown, that's a problem. Flooding is another issue. When you're driving through the bush, you know, maybe flash floods of water, that's another issue. But 9 times out of 10, you know, it can be a bad, you get stuck in some mud somewhere, you know, you can't get yourself out, you know, you get a bad breakdown. What do you need? Even if a mechanic comes, sometimes, well, I've found a lot, especially here in Africa, that the mechanics come with basically no tools. They come with a hammer and a size 13 spanner. So when you've got your own tools, you're already sorted out. So if you know something about the vehicle, you can also assist the mechanic. And also by having the tools, the mechanic doesn't have to start looking around to see which rock he can use to bash this out or whatever with. So just have a nice little kit. Everything that you keep in your box, you know, you should have like a couple. I've got a few pipes. I've got a couple of brake pipes in here, as you can see. Just quick and easy to change brake pipes. You know, so I've had to change one before in the bush and bleed it. It took me about 20 minutes to change the pipe and then bleed the brakes. I was able to get back home quite safely. You know, it's things like that that you need to think about. You know, little things. You know, if this happens and that happens, there's a couple more of these brake pipes in there at the bottom. But have some washers, have some nuts, lock nuts. Prop shaft bolts, different things like that. These are the things that you'll probably end up needing out in the bush. So if you've got any questions about the kit, or you think I should add anything, you know, there's always someone who can tell me that I've missed something out. But if there's anything that you think I've missed out, because in this box I've got ratchets, I've got everything else, but if there's anything that you think that I've missed out or you think I should add more on top of this vehicle, let me know in the comments below. Thanks, please subscribe to the video channel, and this is East African Adventures.